All right, guys, welcome back to Blameline Garage. So today's project is installing these triangle pieces that go on the side of the diffuser. These pieces were introduced with the GT4RS. Supposedly, they introduce better underbody airflow to the car, but personally, one of the things I really hate about the GT4 design or any Cayman design so far is that, first of all, like visually, they look kind of round on the side. This triangle on the side helps the car or the rear bumper look more square. So that's one reason why I like these guys, just purely from the looks perspective. But also, when I drive the car around, I always hear the sound of rock being propelled into the rear side of the bumper, and just even though it doesn't matter, it just bugs me. So these would to some extent protect the underbody or underside of your rear bumper. So for all those three reasons, I think it's a good buy. Now, when you want to go and buy these on the market, there are really I think two options. One is you can go to Suncoast and they sell you the whole package, which includes this triangle piece, which you need two of them, obviously, 6 screws, and oddly enough, these screws are almost $7-8 per screw, which is pretty expensive in my book. And then they sell you also the diffuser. Even though the diffuser is identical to GT4, the only difference it has is that it comes pre-drilled with 3 holes that's going to fit into these 3 slots, right? And so it makes the installation process a little bit easier. Now, if you're a baller, you can go ahead and order that $800 kit. Or if you prefer to take that extra $500, invest it in crypto, and go to the moon, maybe you can go the route that I did, which is I just bought these triangle pieces. I bought 2 of them with 6 screws. All in all, it was around $300, $350, depending where you buy it from. So it's substantially cheaper than what you would get from Suncoast. Now, the caveat of making that decision is that you need to figure out where to drill the holes, and it's a bit of a confusing process to do that. And as you can see, I've already gone ahead and installed on one side, I can walk you through kind of how I did it. There's some tutorial online that talk about how to do the installation. All they talk about is, measure 1.5 inches from this corner and then drill the hole. Now that is accurate. However, what it does not tell you is how high or low you need to drill. And also it doesn't tell you for the subsequent holes. They just tell you like drill here, install the screw here, and then figure out the rest, which is not an easy process, especially if you want to get the factory angle, right? If you drill any of those holes lower, you're gonna get a different angle, and that's not gonna match the factory. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna walk you through how to properly install them as the factory intended, and how to go about the process of drilling those holes. So what I've done on this piece, I've already marked, I've used a piece of chalk to mark kind of where those holes line up on the back side of the triangle piece. So once I line this up with the bumper, I can kind of tell where the holes are. So that's the first thing you want to do. The second thing you want to do, this GT4 OEM diffuser piece, actually, it's 2 parts that are held together with a bunch of clips and a screw. As you can see, I've already taken out the screw. So you go ahead and take the screw off. And by the way, this process it doesn't change in my case, because I'm in the process of upgrading my bumper to a European style bumper. I have everything off, and so it's not a problem for me. But you can follow the same process if it's just harder, right? Just under the car. So the first thing you want to do, you want to open up this trim. And the second thing you want to do, you want to start lining up this piece with this. Now, there are 2 important points for lining up and to the factory spec that you need to pay attention to. One is this lip down here. This lip needs to be flushed with the corner right here, so they fit together, and that's going to tell you how kind of protruded is this triangle piece supposed to be. And then the second piece is this hook, and this hook actually gets hooked on, if I can get the focus going, right here. So So you need to make sure the hook is there and that triangle and that ledge is flush with this. So I'm gonna go ahead, I know it's hard to explain, I'm gonna go ahead and get it lined up, and then I'll come back on and I'll show you what I mean by that. All right, as you can see, that L piece is now kind of pressed against the edge here, and also it may not look flush. I just need to press this thing down, but this L shape on the top, you can see it perfectly, at least height-wise, it lines up with the old diffuser piece. So that is how it's supposed to be. Now, once you do this, you can flip over, and you can look at kind of your chalk marks. Now, in my case, I think I wiped it off a little bit, but you can see there's some marking here. So you can go ahead and mark this space, mark the old diffuser. This is a triangle piece, this is a diffuser. You can mark the diffuser with your piece of chalk to line up your holes on this side. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the camera down and do that. All right, as you can see, I've marked up my diffuser. So the vertical tells you, you know, the height of your triangle piece, and then the vertical line tells you where the screw needs to be screwed in. All right, the next step is to measure the height between the edge of the triangle piece to the center of the screw. So once you have this measurement, you can actually go on here and basically measure from the horizontal line the same amount of inches or centimeters or whatever you're using to go down, and then that would be where you would make a mark to drill your holes. All right, as you can see, I've marked my holes 1, 2, 3. I also measured the distance between these holes and cross-checked it with what's on the triangle. Everything seems to line up, so I'm going to go ahead and drill the holes. All right, as you can see, the holes are drilled. I'm going to go ahead and install now. And we are all done. As you can see, both sides line up perfectly. There's no gap. I know there was some talk on the forums about using 3M tape to hold these pieces down on one side, and I would say, based on my experience, there's going to be a gap as wide as Grand Canyon if you go with a 3M. And also after some time, because that part gets a lot of dirt and sand and things as such, it's just going to come apart. Don't do that. Just go the distance. I mean, you're driving a highly engineered machine, so put an effort into drilling the holes. But hey, if 3M tape works for you, go for it. But I highly would not recommend it. The other problem with the 3M tape or not doing it properly is that the angle of these plates can change if you don't get the back screw in correctly. So it can basically rotate around one screw or one mounting point, or if you're using 3M, one side may be down, the other side may be up. So all in all, it's not worth it. Just put the effort into making the holes, and as you can see, within a couple of hours I was able to get it right. Obviously you want to cross-check, double-check, triple-check everything to make sure the measurements are right, but as you can see, the finished product looks amazing.